whenever you strap into a rocket, you know that you're taking a risk. In our case, the space shuttle had 1,500 parts, any one of which that failed, it was catastrophe. So you know there's a risk that you're taking. As John Glenn quipped as he was about to shimmy into that little spacecraft, Mercury spacecraft, he says, it's very comforting to know that this was built by the lowest bidder. But it's a risk you're willing to take because we are by nature adventurers, explorers. We're frontiers people. We want to learn. And yet, when the worst happens, it's a very bad day. We had gone through 4 scrubs. That means you go to the pad, you climb in, you strap in, they start the count, and for one reason or another, the count is called off. The mission scrub. We had gone through 4 times over the better part of a month. On the 5th try, it was almost flawless 6-day mission. Only 10 days later, Challenger launches and blows up 10 miles high in the Florida sky. Now, that's a bad day. And it didn't have to happen. It was human mistakes. It was communication. The lack of communication is what killed those 7 astronauts. And it was repeated years later in 2003 on another space shuttle flight. It was a different technical reason, but it was a lack of communication from the ground and the engineers to the management that were making the decisions. Because I know this history as the head of NASA, I am absolutely insisting on any manager that you listen to the people who are doing the work, the people on the line, the people that are preparing. And I tell this to the contractors as well, because it was in the case of Challenger, 10 days after us, it was that a contractor was not listening to their engineers, and their management ignored the warnings, in this case, of the O-rings, the rubberized gaskets in the solid rocket boosters, that in cold weather they were going to stiffen and they would not seal in those joints. And then the hot gases escaped. It happened to escape right into the burning of a strut that went into the explosion of the big external tank of hydrogen and oxygen. So there's no excuse for that. And yet, there's a risk. But we take that risk.